Do you experience pain in those positions where you need to drop down into a backbend like Urdhva or Kapotasana? If you do, these next few minutes are going to be extremely valuable to you because I'm going to share the technique that helped transform my backbends and I've used with hundreds and hundreds, if not thousands of students who have come in with back pain or discomfort and left feeling so much lighter and so much more comfortable. When I was a young yogi, I was really eager, really hungry to learn the Ashtanga practice, and I reached a point of serious resistance where I was trying to integrate this movement pattern that just did not come naturally to my body at all, and especially dropping down dynamically into the backbends was really hard for my body. And so I just started to take from every source of information that I could, reading every article, every old book about Ashtanga Yoga, every YouTube video, and I couldn't really find anything that was specifically technique related that changed the way that I felt about these movements immediately. Of course, I was experiencing a lot of pain at the time, and through this period of chronic pain, sometimes it would go up and down, but nothing really could change on a physical level that would transform the way that I felt until I found this one old video, which just so happened to be my teacher, Sharath, doing his backbends. It's very cool to see because the way that he moved is really incredible. He moves with pure breath and bandha. And I just started to look at the way that he was moving, notice that it's so different to the way that I was trying to do it, and start to try and emulate what he was doing. Now, that's not usually what I would recommend for learning the Ashtanga practice, but somehow when I did this, it seemed to work. And that was a really cool experience because then over the course of the next months of practicing it, I started to really realize through integrating this movement why it was working so well. And it's because he sets the sensitive part, the flexible part of the spine first before adding any weight to the movement. He moves from the middle of the body, much like we do in most of the Ashtanga yoga practice, but essentially just setting that sensitive part and initiating the way down by pressing the hips forward means that it's going to feel really light on the way down. Notice that he starts with this forward head position and the hands in front of the body. So there's no weight on the sensitive part of the spine until it's already in the right shape. Now, as you press the hips forward, you might expand into the chest to create a little bit of length in the spine, inhaling and just creating this pranic shape, opening the front of the body. And when you get to the point of resistance, you can add a little bit of weight to the back bend by taking your head back, and then a little bit more weight by taking the hands back while just pressing your hips forward towards the front of the room to counterbalance that weight. Now notice that the knees don't bend at all until you're ready to commit to dropping down and landing on your hands. And when the knees do bend, you'll try to bend them forward over the toes. That will let your hands land close to the feet. And then perhaps you can do it all in one movement. Strong legs push back and then inhale, come forward and stand up when your weight is as far forward as you're going to get it. Now, this movement can be done in a way that's really fluid and flowing, the way that he does it in the video. But if you need to extract a little bit more opening on your way down, then really milking out each part where you take more weight back is going to be really helpful. So that is to set the shape of the spine, start to go back, take the head back, just take your time on each one of these steps. As you take the arms overhead, just allow your back to open a little bit further and just take it step by step, really break it down. This is going to be really applicable in a posture like Kapotasana, which tends to come a little bit later after you've been doing drop backs for a while, because ultimately it's the same thing, trying to press your hips forward and let your spine unravel into the shape. If you go down with a straight spine, even if you're really good at landing on the floor and then crawling all the way in to touch your feet, you'll never quite get the same opening, the same pranic shape in your spine from doing that. Ultimately, what you need is to open on the way down and let your spine unravel into this comfortable position. And ideally, you'll land really close to the feet or maybe even straight on the feet for Kapotasana. I've heard lots of times, lots of people saying, start by taking your head back, start by bending into the upper back, start with the arms overhead, start by taking your hips back even. And those things just seem crazy to me now after having practiced it this way for such a long time. Now, the thing that I love about breaking down this movement into this little step-by-step format is that it actually gives you the chance to break it down to the point that you're not doing the whole movement. It feels very all or nothing, right? You're either just standing there doing nothing, or you're dropping all the way down to Urdhva and standing up. Whereas actually, if you take your hands behind the pelvis, thumbs on the sacrum, and start to press your hips forward, you can move through that same movement pattern without putting any weight on your back at all. And if that feels fine for you, maybe you'll feel good to try it with the head forward, hands in front, and just start to press your hips forward, inhaling into the chest to lengthen your spine. And if you feel comfortable there, you can start to go step by step, taking a little bit more weight back into the back bend, and just realize that you don't need to go all the way down. You don't have to put your hands on the floor, particularly if you are experiencing a lot of pain in that movement. So I hope this really helps you. Just be aware that none of this is intended to replace working with a teacher, especially in these positions where you're a little bit inside out, upside down, all disoriented. It's really helpful to have the experienced eye of a teacher on you, and maybe they can even give you some physical guidance while you go through the movements. And that is generally the best way to learn really complex parts of the Ashtanga yoga practice. All right, thank you very much. Subscribe for all the videos. See you next time.